Okay, so Wolves' dreaded December period begins on Saturday with a visit of probably the inform side in the Premier League in Liverpool in a game which kind of feels like a free hit after three back-to-back clean sheets against Burnley, Norwich, and West Ham. Only 5 points, granted, but if you'd offered me that before the game, I probably would have taken it. Obviously, Wolves go into the game eighth with the results that have happened today, and if we lose this game, which we probably will, we could drop down to 10th. Leicester and Brighton could overtake us. But it feels like the Premier League table's starting to take form right now. And obviously, the kind of big seven with West Ham, it feels like they're kind of going to pull away. And we're kind of in this bracket with Brighton, Leicester, Palace, Brentford, and Villa. And I think Everton and everyone below that will be in the relegation battle. Obviously, Liverpool are in amazing form right now. They've won the last four games by scoring four goals: 4-1 against Everton, 4-0 against Southampton, and 4-0 against Arsenal. Not bad opposition. But as good as Liverpool are, they've drawn four games this season, they've lost one, and it's not like they're running away with the league. As good as they have been, and the amount of credit they're getting, they drew against Brighton, and they lost to West Ham, and obviously, we beat West Ham. So this isn't as much as I think this game is a free hit. I don't think it's impossible by any means. As good as Liverpool are, the only thing that concerns me is as good as our defense is, and we're not really conceding right now. I think we've got the fourth best defense in the Prem right now. It feels like when Liverpool do lose, the team they play has to score at least two. And do I trust us to score two goals in any game right now? Not really, especially against Robertson, Trent, Van Dijk, and Allison and co. So will this be a loss? Probably. Does it really matter if it's a loss? Not really. But it's not impossible. Liverpool do have weaknesses. In terms of the lineup, I don't really think it matters. I think we'll probably lose anyway. But obviously, we've got to stick with the same back three, which has been probably the highlight of our season along with Jose Sarr. I would have played Marcel against Burnley or in this game, but obviously with code, you kind of got to play it Nuri, and I'm fine with that. You could bring in Keanu Hervey just because he's a former Liverpool player in that storyline, and we're gonna have to rotate at some point. But I'd keep Semedo for a game like this. I'd probably bring in Keanu Hervey maybe against Brighton, and then I'd drop Neves out, or sorry, bring Neves back in for Dendonka. I actually thought Dendonka was pretty fine against Burnley. That game kind of suited him. And maybe Ruben needs a rest. And it feels a bit harsh on Jamatino having to play another game. But Liverpool aren't like an aerially dominant side or anything, so I don't think we need Dendonka's aerial ability. And then the front three, honestly, with the front three right now, I don't really care. Obviously, Jimenez is going to start. Not that he's been amazing, but he's going to start. But with the two wide guys, I don't really care who plays. Everyone has their favourites. But honestly, I don't really care. If he plays Hwang and Pedence, if he plays Trincao and Traore, I'm not that bothered. If I had to pick, I'd stick with Traore for another game. He played well last week. I'm not saying he was perfect against Burnley, but I thought he was good. He's fun to watch. He always plays pretty well against Liverpool. I'd give him a run. Everyone else has had a run. And then the reason I put Trincao in brackets is purely because I don't know if Pedence is actually going to be back or not. But given how good he was against West Ham and how the performances have dropped off since that West Ham game, it feels like you kind of have to give Pedence this game. Obviously, we don't know what's going on with COVID, but assuming he's okay, I play Pedence. If not, Trincao. I don't mind Hwang, by the way. I think Wolves fans are starting to realise. I think I realised it a bit earlier than a lot of Wolves fans, but I think Wolves fans are starting to realise now Hwang's maybe not as great as everyone thought he was a few weeks ago. That's not a criticism of him, by the way. It feels like a lot of our attackers are struggling right now, but his performances have dropped off a bit. I think we've overplayed him a little bit. Like, it feels like that left wing spot has been his for about 2 months now, and he's not got rested. Just drop him out for a game. That's what I would do personally, and bring in one of. I want Adama on the left, by the way. Like every big kind of side we played this season, bar West Ham, Leicester, Tottenham, Man United, Adam's played on the left, and we've always played pretty well. And I think let's say when he was through on goal last week, if he was on the left wing, he has to pass it because he's so one footed that he has to go onto his right foot and make the pass. Whereas when he's coming on here, he kind of goes on his right and shoots. Do you know what I mean? I just prefer Adama on the left. Even Nuno, to be fair, like people were saying that was kind of like a Bruno Lage thing. Nuno did do it towards the end of last season, and Adama started to look better. So play Adama on the left. It's probably not the best thing for Eight Nuri defensively to have Traore in front of him when he's got Salah to deal with and Trent. Do I trust Adama Traore to track back? Not really, but who cares? If we lose, we lose in it. I want to have fun in this game, and I want to watch Adama, and then obviously you play Raul. In terms of Liverpool, there's no obvious weaknesses for them. Like normally when I do these videos, I try and find like some weaknesses and some strengths. I didn't really see the point in finding strengths because everyone knows what they are. you could say Allison's had a bit of a bad, not a great year. Like, by the way, I'm really scratching. Um, I'm really, I'm trying to find any little weakness because Liverpool are top of basically every metric. But Allison's not having like an incredible year. Like since he's been at Liverpool, every year he's top of post shot XG. Like he's in the top two, three, top four. But right now, obviously, Jose Sar's there, Edouard Mendy's there, Allison's at 0, so he's not saved his team any points based on expected goals. Sorry, not points, goals conceded, but he's not cost them either. Maybe that's a bit of a weakness. Maybe Allison's having a bit of a slight down year. As you can tell, I'm stretching here. Obviously, Liverpool take a lot of shots. They take the most in the league. They have the most shots on target. And obviously, when you score 4 goals in 3 back-to-back games, that's going to happen. But I don't think this is a concern. Wolves' defence is pretty solid, and I think we accept the fact we're going to have to, concede shots. The only real weakness I could find in Liverpool is how they deal with dribblers. When you look at percentages of tackles, of dribblers tackled, Liverpool are 5th bottom, and some of the sides down there are sides we play well against. Southampton, Tottenham, Man United, Watford, we've done well against all those sides. Whereas teams that are top of this metric, Palace, Leeds, Leicester, Everton, Norwich, Brentford, they're all kind of sides we've struggled against. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but Liverpool aren't necessarily great at stopping one-on-one dribblers. Maybe that's because of Trent not being an incredible defender, maybe. I don't really know why that is. I can't really think of an obvious reason, but Wolves have a lot of good dribblers. That's one thing we do have. It feels like in every position we have someone that's like a real good dribbler for their respective position. In all our wingers and all our fullbacks. So maybe that's a weakness of Liverpool, get them in some one-on-one duels. Although it feels like we don't really take anyone on right now. It feels like we just kind of run at someone, then pass the ball back. But, maybe we can get in that way or something. I don't know. Liverpool, they don't really press. Well, not they don't really press, but they're nowhere near as high as Leeds, Palace, Everton, Leicester, etc. I think it's kind of a myth with Liverpool that they're this big pressing side. I'm not saying they don't press at all. They're not like one of the Manchester clubs or Arsenal or whatever down at the bottom. But Liverpool aren't some big pressing side like they were when Jurgen Klopp came in originally. Which I think that's just an evolution of them now that their squad's a lot better than it used to be. Now they have the ball more and they don't need to do it as much. But Liverpool have a lot of shots, their possession's pretty high, and they don't press as much. I don't think, although those are all good signs for Liverpool, I don't think they're big worries for us. It scares me less that they don't press as much and they're a bit more ball dominant. I'd rather play against that personally. Again, Liverpool have the second highest possession in the league. Again, that sounds like a positive for them, but I don't think it is. I'd rather play a side that kind of can just give us space on the break, especially with the amount of quality they have. I don't really mind that. It feels like every game we've played recently, we're playing against someone that's playing a low block. So I just hope we stick Adama Traore up front and Podence and kind of just have a go on the break and see what happens. It feels like it's our only chance. We never beat Liverpool anyway. Even when people say we have a great record against the top 6, we've always struggled against Liverpool anyway. Again, they're a big crossing side as well. Everyone kind of knows that. But I don't think that's a big weakness either. We've got 3 big centre-backs, so I think they'll be able to deal with that threat. It's just the low crosses we might struggle with, but I think in the air they're quite good, aren't they? Yeah, they're 6th. So, look, we're probably going to lose this game, regardless of what team Bruno puts out. We're probably going to lose the game. But Liverpool aren't impossible. There are some little things, and as good as they've been in the last 3 weeks, they did drop points in the prior 2. They're not unbeatable. And they've just come off an emotional derby. So who knows? Maybe we'll get a win. I think we'll probably lose. I just want to still score a goal because it feels like we haven't scored a goal in a while. And just have a bit of fun, play a Adama, see what happens. And hopefully not drop down to 10th because we want to stay in the top 10. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, like the video, see what happens against Liverpool. There'll be a reaction after the game. Yeah, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, peace.